Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game. It's all about the game and how you play it. All about control, and if you can take it, all about your debt. And if you can pay it, it's all about pain. And who's gonna make it? I am the game. You don't wanna play me. I am control. No way you can shake me. I am heavy debt. No way you can pay me. I am the pain, and I know you can't take me. Look over your shoulder, ready to run like a Cleveland bitch from a smoking gun. I am the game, and I make the rules. So move on out. You can die like a fool. Try to figure out what my move's gonna be. Come on over, sucker. Why don't you ask me? Don't you forget there's a price you can pay. 'Cause I am the game and I want to play. Time to play the game. Time to play the game. It's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about control, and if you can take it, it's all about your debt. And if you can pay it, it's all about the pain. Who's gonna make it? I am the game. You don't wanna play me. I am control. There's no way you can shake me. I am your debt, and you know you can't pay me. I am your pain, and I know you can't take me. Play the game, you're gonna be the same. You're gonna change your name, you're gonna die in flames. Time to play the game. 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 Time to play the game.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley, with convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut. Visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org.
Wow. It's Tuesday morning. Yes, we are all set. December 14th, 2021 and counting. How are you, everyone? My name's Bob Plass. I am the host of Westfield on Weekend show, westfieldonweekends.com. And here we are. There he is, our substitute. No, you're the temporary sub that we have here.
It's becoming permanently temporary.
Permanently temporary. Rick Barry, as I live and breathe. Yes, and that other voice and the man in the box in the center of the screen, if you're watching on Channel 15 in Southwick, Agawam, and where's the other place? Southwick, Agawam,
and Westfield,
Bob.
Oh,
where we are.
I guess that's not where I am. I have no idea.
I'm not sure where you are, Bob. You're a little discombobulated this morning.
I am. Well, I've had a week where I've had to focus on a lot of different things. I mean, not that I don't focus on a lot of different things every week, but somehow or other this week has been one of those ADHD weeks where I've had one thing after another, and my mind is everywhere. But get this. I've got good news and maybe bad news at the same time. All right?
What's that?
Okay.
Good news and the good news and bad news?
Well, I remember how I had my memory tests.
Yes.
No, I don't remember.
Oh. Okay, so the long and the short of it, for folks who don't know, is that James reported me to the medical police because I couldn't remember the term for garden hose, and as you all remember, and
Bob, there's only medical police in your liberal utopia.
Okay.
It doesn't exist in the real world.
Oh,
Bob.
it doesn't. Oh,
No.
Well,
You have a doctor, but that's not medical police.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, you'd think it was in my life, because James calls them, and of course, Dr. Senarazzo immediately, because he's a good doctor, says, "Well, I got to investigate this." So they send me to the specialist, a great specialist, a psychologist, and I have my first 3-hour session where she learned that we had a lot in common. She's actually going to be a guest on the show sometime. She's a really funny and nice person, that doctor. And so she said, "Geez, you're okay, I think, but let's."
I think.
Yeah, that I think. 3 months later, then I had that was a 2-hour test. What? Oh, yes. And then 3 months later, I had the 5-hour marathon memory test with another specialist. And then they have a team that meets to discuss your medical issue. And the team met. Oh, gosh. Oh, my God.
Perfect timing for
yeah,
the
it
flighting.
was. Yes, exactly right. The team met for the certification, and I have been certified totally normal. Totally normal.
That's a relative term, Bob.
Well,
You're cognitively normal.
cognitively normal.
We didn't say you were normal.
No, I know. No,
I'd like to meet this medical staff, really.
I believe he's cognitively normal. He's sharp as a tack.
Oh, not only that, here's the bad news. They said I was not only cognitively normal, but I was exceptionally smart. Exceptionally
I believe that as well.
Smart. Well, thank you
I
very
completely
much.
believe
Yes.
that. I'm all on board with that.
All my life, I've thought, you're labeled. It's terrible to label people, but I remember do you remember your IQ scores or something from your youth? Did they ever tell you that at all?
No,
Yeah.
they never
I think
did.
it's around
did they-
120 or something like that,
Yeah.
125.
Oh, well, I think
I'm mediocre.
well,
Isn't like the highest you can go like 160 or something like that? 160, 180?
I think it's 180 or something, but
Yeah, so I'm mediocre.
but only 3% of the population have whatever. It's over 145 or whatever. I'm not going to tell you mine.
Right, so I think I'm
because
125.
Yeah.
You're probably about a 141.
No, a little higher, but
Wow.
yeah.
Bob, you're a smart man. You've accomplished a lot.
Well, I don't know whether the IQ has anything to do with that. It's probably more like Well, I suppose it does in one sense, but
The smartest people are the people who can step back and envision things. In their
yeah, I
heads.
think it's that circumspect kind of thing. Somehow or other, I was taught, and maybe it was growing up different, if you might call it different. Okay, the idea of being able to watch everybody. I mean, I watch people like a hawk. I am able to. Maybe because of my fear that I was going to be discovered as a, God help me, gay man.
According to
you know,
this IQ Test Academy,
yeah.
IQA certified, the average IQ score for anybody is 100.
Wow. So I thought it was really good at 115 when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But does your IQ grow?
It can change over time depending on environmental factors, sure.
Oh, all right, okay. But at any rate,
So here's your
it's a terrible thing because
here's the curve,
labeling
Bob.
is not a very good idea, if you ask me.
Here's the curve.
Yeah.
90 to 109 is average. 110 through 119 is high average. 120 through 129 is superior. 130 through 144 is gifted or very advanced, and that's on a score from 50 to 144. That's the curve.
Uh-huh. Yes.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Uh-huh. So
you're gifted?
I might be gifted. I don't know.
You don't know yet?
I think he
might
is.
I might be gifted.
Maybe I'll take the
but
test.
You know, no, the labeling that I just don't like to be labeled. And I was talking to Ethel and Peter from the Cape, and they were saying, you better not talk about your IQ on the radio. And I said, why? Because he said, that's a real sticking point for a lot of people. And I thought to myself, you know, it's so strange because when I grew up, and somehow or other, the number 115 sticks into my brain. And, you know, what if you're sick on the day that you have your IQ test? Or something bad has happened? Or you're just not, you're poor, or your environment is not good, or whatever. You know, that might be very skewed, but then you're told just how much you can accomplish or not accomplish. And for me, you can accomplish with support, with love, with everything that goes along with having that grounded life, whether it's with an extended family or whatever. And some folks don't get that. And so that being branded, and then if you're branded, I remember John, his name was John, oh God, he had a same, you know, it was like John Reardon. John Reardon was the genius in my high school class. And somehow or other, word passed that he had gotten could it be 170 or 180 on his IQ test or whatever? And ever since then, this man in my eyes has been the benchmark of what we all strive to be. And I'm thinking, does it really matter if that person is not striving? John, I think, went on to become a neurophysicist or something like Mayim Bayak is. But I just, I don't know. But so the bad news is now I'm walking around lording over the fact that I'm intelligent to James at every chance I get.
Poor James.
When he's telling me that I can't do, you know how it is.
He's ready. He's ready to put you in a home, though, right?
Well, he said yes. Yeah. Now he's looking. Now he's looking into a different kind of home. Now that he knows I'm smart. I don't know. Maybe he's gonna put me in the basement of the library and just let me leave there. But you know what? I don't. I'm certainly not emotionally smart. I don't have an emotional. I mean, I guess I do. I'm pretty. I mean, I make jokes about it, but I think I'm emotionally smart. But there's emotional intelligence, certainly physical intelligence. Oh man, I am 0 on that. No, I'm not. I must be about 4 or 5 on the physical intelligence. I'm not good at putting medical and mental things together. Look, I can't even put the little cups of coffee here together. There we are. Little I'm building something here. Are you now?
Pete, help me.
Now with these news, Rick.
I'm halfway through my test.
Rick, are you now? Are you looking at me differently? Now
Yes,
that
I am.
You've
You've been labeled. That's why. You know.
Yeah, I'm not so sure.
You
but
know,
the good news for me is that for those who have ever had a problem with anyone in their family or a challenge of Alzheimer's or any of that sort of stuff, to get the news that I'm okay is real. I mean, we joke about that, but it's really
It's good news.
It's good news, and I'm really happy about it. And I thank those geniuses that came to the decision that I was okay. You know.
Well, we're glad you're okay, Bob. That you're okay.
Thank you. Now, would you like me to recite the Bible from backwards?
Backwards, yes.
Yeah.
You know, I've met some people who have scored very highly on the IQ test.
Yeah.
And I still look at them like, really? But intelligence is a relative thing.
Yes, it is very much relative.
It is.
Yeah.
You can look at
it. Will help you at a cocktail party if somebody brings up some topic that nobody knows, and you can wax eloquent for 3 seconds or two. You know.
But some people don't have any common sense.
Oh, please! You're looking at him right here.
Oh, come on! You have common sense. Bob.
There's
a little bit. It's it's not a full garden of it. It's just a couple of flowers here and there.
I love that. See, that's why you're.
It's not
I would say that
garden.
This is an intelligent man, and I'll tell you why. He just used a metaphor without really using it. That was a simile. Without when you use you compared my smartness to a garden.
Yes.
Or no, my common sense.
To a garden.
There's
Yes.
street smarts, Bob, and then there's smart smarts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, because there's that saying that common sense doesn't grow in everybody's garden.
Oh, I see. I had.
Yeah.
Oh, no, is that an expression?
Yeah.
Who said that?
Yeah. I don't know who actually said that.
Common sense doesn't grow in everybody's garden.
Yeah.
Give me an example of something that's not common sense. Oh.
That's
hard.
Yeah, that is hard.
Oh, I suppose not wearing your seatbelt. Would that be common sense? I don't know.
Peter, you got anything on that one?
Help.
What's that?
Give an
example of common sense.
Of common sense.
Of common sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
So somebody that looks at a problem, and so a basic problem, and thinks up this great idea of how to fix it, and then this guy walks over there and turns the wrench. There's a common sense versus intellectualism.
Oh.
So this guy's like, I could design this really cool thing that'll spin the thing around, and I need this tool and that tool and this tool and that tool. And the guy's just like,
yeah, but don't you think that would be the idea? The guy comes in and turns the wrench, quickly goes.
No, this guy comes up with this elaborate rubric to fix a loose bolt, and the guy walks in and just turns the page. That's it.
Yeah. Huh. Well, okay. Oh, I got one. Okay. The stove is on. You putting your hand on a hot stove. Would that be common sense? It's common sense that you're not going to put your hand on the stove.
Right. Exactly. That's common sense.
That's common sense.
That you don't do it. Right.
So, in other words, it's something that you learn, or you. Well, okay. Do you have the definition there so that we know whether we've got common sense or not? Go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's funny because the thing is, what is common sense? And common sense is a 47-page pamphlet written by Thomas Paine in 1775.
That's right. That's exactly right. I could have told
that. I'm like, see, that's not common sense.
No. It was Thomas Paine. That had a lot to do with the American Revolution. When that's about all this intelligent man can tell you. But at any rate, Thomas Paine.
Yeah, there's really not much.
You mean they're not taking a stab at what common sense is? There's got to be something that says, what is common sense?
Let's see. Common sense is sound practical judgment that usually developed through life experiences rather than any kind of formal training.
There we have it. Okay, that's good. Now, so knowledge that develops because of experience.
Life experience rather than any formal training. Developing common sense can
Right.
seem like a difficult thing, but you can easily
That's why you say your teenager
Practi-
has no common sense.
right
Oh,
because they have no formal training or have no life experience in that.
I see. And the more times you do something, the more times you get not rewarded for something, or it's a bad feeling. Like I'm not gonna eat, let's say, garlic, because every time I eat garlic, it makes me run to the bathroom. Well, common sense would tell me not to eat garlic, but I eat garlic. So that would be because I love garlic, and
Right.
I'm going to suffer the consequences. When you have to suffer the consequences, then you're going against your common sense. I suppose. Well, could that be right? I'm not.
know.
No. Well, I said it. It must be right because I'm up there with. Of course not.
Of course, Bob said it's the word.
It's the Bible.
It's the Bible today.
It's the Bible. So that's my story, as I say, and as I've been. This is my new catchphrase. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Here's another question somebody asked here: is how do you know if you lack common sense? Do people know that they don't have common sense?
Well, yeah.
It's pretty apparent when you don't have common sense.
Well, no, you need to.
You're that person walking across the street with the earbuds in that gets hit by the bus.
Oh, okay. Yes, but how do you know that you don't have common sense unless somebody tells you what? You need to know what common sense is before you can let yourself in on what common sense
It's
is.
very hard to exist in society without common sense.
Basically, you're right. Bob, that's a person may be considered to be lacking in common sense if they continue to believe or do something when there is evidence to suggest that they would be better off thinking or acting differently.
Oh God, we're going. Yeah. We're skirting an issue here, everyone.
That's also
We're
the
skirting
definition of insanity.
Yeah, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Correct. Yes.
But indeed, when people are traumatized, they do it. I mean, like that's why we relive our. That's why if you're in an accident, you relive it because you want a different ending.
Yes, you want a different outcome.
You want a different outcome. So there's a ton of stuff. Hey, look at how beautiful the green looks. It looks very green for a 45 degrees it's going to be today, everybody. Is that that's balmy in the winter, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little above average. Yeah.
For this time of year, yes, definitely.
And the green actually looks green.
Yeah.
Amazing.
The grass is still green.
Yeah,
out there.
amazing how much green there is actually on the green, besides what people think.
Yeah.
I don't think we've also had a hard frost yet. We really haven't had a hard frost yet.
No, I think you're right because I was able to stick something in the ground a couple of days ago, and I said to myself, "Geez, the ground isn't frozen yet. This is maybe good news. Good news for anybody that needs to stick something in the ground. What was the last thing you stuck in the ground, Rick? Yeah, I sound like Barbara Walters. If you were a tree, what would you be?"
A couple of stakes the other day holding down the Christmas decorations outside.
Oh,
in that wind.
Oh my gosh! So
God bless.
So your Christmas decor. Let's picture. Is there any inflatable out there?
No, I do not do the inflatables.
Okay.
They're distracting.
You were going to say they creep me out.
Yes. Some of them do. Yes, some of them actually do.
There are some that are kind of creepy.
I just want to know what a dragon.
Nothing worse
what does a dragon have to do with Christmas?
Well, if they have a little red scarf on, then they're Christmassy. And if they're green, it's a green dragon with a little red scarf. Look at ho. No. That's it's true. It's absolutely true. What does a dog with a scarf have to do with Christmas? I saw some of those up.
Yeah. Well, I've got the one I have is actually it's a scarf. It looks just like my dog. So it's like
you and your dog wear the same scarf.
No, no. The decoration I have outside is a black and white dog with a scarf on, and it looks just like her. Stands just like her too.
Really?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Well, so what is it? Is it's not a blow up?
No, it's not a blow up. No,
it's a picture of.
No, it's one of those metal sculptures with lights on it and.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, so
it's not
instead
tacky.
of
It's not an
like
inflatable
a reindeer that the problem we have a reindeer. Anybody want a huge mother of a reindeer? The reindeer is probably 8 feet by 7 or 8 feet.
Yep.
That we used in the pavilion one year. It's in the basement of Westfield on Weekends shop over there on 105 Elm. And it didn't lose its legs. It lost the ability to stand somehow or other. You need to whatever, and it also lost the lights on it. So once it loses its lights, then
it's hard to fix. They're not easy. You can fix them. You can fix them.
So I'm looking at this reindeer and I'm saying, what are we going to do with it? And so I'm thinking I just give it. If you want a reindeer that you want to fix, call Westfield on Weekends and let us know. We'll be glad to get rid of this 8-foot by 7-foot reindeer. Would you like it? It could go right there nicely with your dog.
It's a little big.
See, there is the.
I had no place to put it.
Okay, all right.
It would be Goshen Clash.
Yeah. Well, clashing. No, clashing is the problem with some houses. Incidentally, we have a great house tour. The holiday lights tour is going forward, and there are more than 36. I think I counted yesterday, or maybe closer to 40 houses on an interactive map at WestfieldandWeekends.com, and you can go on and you can take your kids on a ride to see some great lit, decorated houses.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. But
there's one on
yes, go ahead.
There's the one on Bellevue does the music, and so does on Pine. Also.
Yeah, there's some great ones.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's a clash between. Well, you've got a polar bear next to a polar bear next to an elephant next to a little elf. Doesn't make any sense. Well, maybe the polar bear and the elf makes sense.
Yes,
but you've got to be careful about mixing and matching on these.
Right, exactly.
Or the nativity next to a
Santa Claus.
Yeah, I mean, it's just sort of it strikes me as really odd, especially when you've got the blow-upables.
Is it sad that when Bob said lit houses, I immediately thought of Cheech and Chong?
That could be the case. Hey, I heard Southwick was looking to have a new cannabis store on Route 5 or what's that? Route 202. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they're. I think it's going to be like liquor stores.
Yeah, they're going to be popping up everywhere eventually.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Well, Westfield's got a moratorium on how many they can have. And I'm sure Southwick does too.
That's the same thing with package stores or liquor stores, as we call them.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, we've been talking so long. Peter, let's do Under the Weather by Chris Young. It's Chris Young's a great country western star, and this is from his Christmas album. It must be Christmas, but it's called Under the Weather. I'm not under the weather, and if anyone's under the weather out there, I hope you're feeling better, Lucille and Danny. I know you've been going through a lot, and Kara, and my sister and her family. This COVID stuff is not to be fooled around with, and we hope you're well and not under the weather. Under the Weather, Chris Young.
There in the living room is our little tree. We haven't even started wrapping hardly anything. There's only one thing I need. Yeah, and you can bet me being wrapped up with you is the best present I could get. It's cold outside. You and I ain't gotta go nowhere. I can start a fire, lay beside you all night right here. The snow's coming down. kissing you under the mistletoe. That's a reason to stay at home, baby. It's cold outside. You and I ain't gotta go nowhere. I can start a fire, lay beside you all night right here. The snow's coming down, and it won't be the only thing falling, so let's stay here together under the weather. I waited for this all year long. Something about turning on Christmas lights for the first time. Watching them shine in your eyes. Baby, it's cold outside. You and I ain't gotta go nowhere. I can start a fire, lay beside you all night right here. The snow's coming down, and it won't be the only thing falling, so let's stay here together under the weather. Yeah, under the weather. Under the weather.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Join us every Thursday morning.
From 6 until at least 7:30,
Check out the Bobby G and Company Show.
right here on WSKB 89.5.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning. It is December 14th, 2021. Let's see, how many more days till Christmas? 11 more days till Christmas. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Where did this year go? Honest to God, I marvel at how time flies, you know. But hey, I wanted to tell everybody that I had a really great meal at the Maple Leaf a couple of weeks ago. Have you been to the Maple Leaf? Have we talked about the Maple Leaf downtown?
Yes.
Been there a little bit, but yeah. I've been there.
I don't know whether it's changed management or something, but
It has.
I always think of it as it's sort of a college bar that you would probably not want to go into if you're 85. Well, maybe you would, but after a certain hour, it becomes, really something else.
After about 9 o'clock, it does become more of a college bar.
But I went in, it's well lit, it's clean, and I had the best French fries.
Yeah, their food's pretty good.
No, they weren't French fries. They made their own, what do you call that? Potato chips. They made their own potato chips.
House fried chips, nice.
Yeah, really nice. Really, really good. And I wanted to give a shout out to them because I thought, geez, I've avoided that. And the sandwich was really terrific. Almost like the sandwich I had. I had a sandwich at Hutke's recently. It was one of my all-time favorite roast beef sandwiches that with dipping juice,
Au jus.
Yep.
That was so delicious. It was. I don't know whether it was
The
the
French
bread.
dip?
Yeah, it was
French
a
dip?
Yeah, why do they call it a French dip?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if there's anything French about it because it's usually on a baguette.
Yeah. I
don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, well, maybe it's because they put it on French bread, and so you got French juice or au jus is.
Au jus is just pan drippings.
Well, yeah, and that means that's from French. Oh, I don't know. We know what a dip is. I've been called
So,
a
Bob,
dip
I got some culture over the weekend.
Oh, you did? What? Oh, tell us.
Do you know Dee Riley?
Yes, Deirdre Riley. Yes.
Dee Riley did a benefit show for the 1916 Garden at Forest Park, And the benefit show was at Pope Francis in their auditorium, which is beautiful.
Really? This is the new school that took the place of
Yes.
Cathedral. Is it at Surrey Road?
Yes. Well, technically, they bill it as Wendover Road.
Oh, Wendover, which is the one that goes
Just,
up the
yeah,
hill where
right.
the nuns lived.
Right.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And it seats 500, and it is absolutely I wish I had that when I was in high school. It's beautiful.
Really? Well, at Cathedral, they had a really nice auditorium.
I
as
know, but this
remember.
this is like an amphitheater style, and the stage is beautiful, and
Oh.
I mean, it's new,
Yeah, of
but it
course.
literally looks like oh God, it looks like it has side walkways. It look like almost like balconies.
So is it a
I should have taken
is
pictures.
it in a circle? It's a circular
No, it's more like an amphitheater style.
amphitheater. Wow.
So it's got a modified thrush stage,
Uh-huh.
and all the seats go up. So it's like almost like the movie theaters now, where there's
Yeah.
kind of like an amphitheater style.
Yeah, sure.
That's how it is, and it seats 500, and is absolutely.
Wow.
I'm so jealous.
Now,
of these kids.
Deirdre is from Nashville. She
No, Deidre's from Westfield.
well, I know she's from Westfield by way
She
of
lived
Nashville.
she lived in Nashville for
Yeah.
a while, and she worked when Opryland was a theme park. She was one of the cast members and did performances there all the time.
Oh, I gotcha. So she sang some Irish stuff.
Irish, country. She did about a 2-hour show
Wow.
as a benefit.
Good turnout.
Yeah, the auditorium was nearly full.
Wow. How do you like that? And what led you to Pope Francis?
My brother got, for some reason, had tickets, and his wife had something with her boys.
Yeah.
So he said, hey, I got 2 more tickets. Do you and Christy want to go with me and Mom?
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, yeah, sure, we'll go. So we went and we had a good time.
Wow.
And then we went to Nathan Bill's, which also has very good food, for a bar.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Now, Nathan Bills is down in a dingle somewhere. Is that right? Is Nathan Bills in a dingle?
No, it's right down the road from Cathedral, or it's right on the corner.
Yeah, it's in a plaza.
Oh, it's in a plaza. I'm
Yeah.
picturing it near the
Nathan
Armory
Bill-
Pond, the ponds
No,
down there.
No.
it's
Where
in the
Nathan Bill Playground used to be.
Nathan Bill Playground is right across the street from Holy Cross, where I went to school.
Listen, oh my God, we could just go on and on and on. We don't even know who Nathan Bill is. But Nathan Bill. So you went to Nathan Bill's afterward and had a nice drink or two or
Drink
four.
and dinner, yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I had Irish egg rolls.
Irish egg rolls. Now we'll ask an Irishman. Irish egg rolls.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's basically a deep fried Reuben
Yeah, it's a Reuben in a
and an egg roll wrapper.
Really?
Deep fried.
and
Yeah,
it's very tasty.
they are good.
Oh, interesting. Do they serve those at the Irish Cultural Center or at that White
don't know if they
Lion
do.
Brewery
I
where
don't-
you work? My
No.
friend? No.
Nope.
No. Sounds good. I had actually, it's just strange that you say that, but there was corned beef meal in my dream last night. I was dreaming
Really?
about corned beef. So interesting. Well, of course, because now that I'm prescient as well. I can see into the future now that I'm so smart.
You see a New England boiled dinner in your.
Well, I knew that we were
Your
going to be
future.
talking about corned beef and Irish things, so I dreamt about it last night. Yeah. No. I have been binging. I have had a movie marathon of Benedict Cumberbatch movies. You know Benedict Cumberbatch?
No,
You
I
don't know? You
No.
don't know who he is?
I may, but
He played Khan in the reboot of Star Trek.
Doctor Strange. He plays Doctor Strange in the Marvel Universe.
oh, okay. Yes, I know who he is.
yeah,
then
so-
yes, okay.
Yeah. He plays Sherlock Holmes on the PBS channel, the latest version of Sherlock Holmes.
That I have not seen yet.
No, oh my God, you got to see it. Benedict Cumberbatch is an actor's actor, and I started by watching The Power of the Dog, which is going to be nominated. It's actually been nominated for a Golden Globe and I think Screen Actors Awards and all that. He's going to get an Oscar for this, but it is an incredible movie. Everyone, Power of the Dog. But I got to say this. It is very slow. It's done by a woman named Jane Campion, who did the pianist. That Jane Campion's movies are always very slow, But this has Kirsten Dunst and Jesse Plemons and Benedict Cumberbatch and a newcomer named Cody Smith. He's got a hyphenated last name, but it's a Western that takes place in 1927. When I think of Westerns, I think of 1800s Westerns, don't you? They're back in the 1800s, but it's based on a novel by Thomas Savage, and it takes place on a cattle ranch in Montana. They filmed it in New Jersey. They filmed it in New Jersey. They filmed it in New Zealand. And the photography, the cinematography in this movie is unlike, oh my God, it's so beautiful, so beautiful. And the story is told in pieces, in acts, and it says Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 4, Act 5. I think there are 5 of them. Or chapter. I don't know whether it's chapter or acts, but it actually says that number. Yeah. Oh, there we are. There's that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So Westerns that are filmed outside of the American West.
That's the sound you hear when you're standing on the concrete jungle downtown that everybody
that
thinks
wind
it is.
going
yes,
by.
Because there's nothing. Yeah, because there's nothing down there.
Oh.
It's not green at all.
Oh, yeah. No.
Sorry, I just have to.
Yeah. Somebody's
talking about
complaining on
Springfield?
Facebook
No,
about green.
ours downtown. There's a whole the whole group of people still on Facebook who are
greener.
touting that it's just nothing but the concrete
know.
jungle, and it's
Those
and
are people that
obviously
just
haven't
like to
been down
complain.
there. Right, exactly.
Well, it's there, and and what are you going to do about it? If
Right.
if you don't like it, there's not much you could do about it unless donate the money to change it around, and we'll we'll make it exactly like what you like.
Yeah.
But anyway.
That's interesting.
So,
I just
yeah.
reading about the power of the dog. That sounds like an interesting.
Oh, it's about toxic masculinity, and this is it has. You have to pay attention. And at the beginning of the movie, it says there is a.
You turned me off with toxic masculinity.
Why? What?
Because men are men and men are men.
Huh? There's such a thing as toxic. Oh, here we go again. Get ready for a
At least
fight.
he recognized this time.
Yeah.
I'm setting you up, Bob.
Yo, no, I know. Toxic masculinity is when people go overboard in portraying their masculinity.
Right.
And this film has lots of
We used to call those people, I lift things up and put them down.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. And it is that sensitive, the sensitive nature. There's a young sensitive man and a cowboy who it scares everybody. Scares everybody.
Did they resurrect Jack Palance?
Yeah, maybe in that sense, but I really love it, and it's one of those films that I watched it, and I was unsure of what happened at the end. Then I went online and I read what the plot was afterward.
Yep.
Okay, then it got. I said, this is a great movie, and it's one of those that has been haunting me for a long while, and if you don't like, there's some little nudity in it. If you don't like nudity, then don't watch the film. But
Probably why it got an R rating or something.
Yeah. But it's a really wonderful film. So then I watched, and Benedict Cumberbatch plays a really scary cowboy. Then I watched The Electrical Life of Louis Wayne, and he portrays a very interesting real-life character, Louis Wayne, who was famous for drawing cats. He was a cat illustrator, and very famous cat illustrator. His last name is W-A-I-N. Go look up Louis Wayne, and you'll see. These are cats that you might recognize. Cats playing cards, cats, and that's all he drew for a while there. And it's a charming movie. The Electrical Life of Louis Wayne. I recommend it heartily. Again, Benedict Cumberbatch, totally different in this film. And then if you want to see him totally different, you watch The Courier, which is also a new movie with Benedict Cumberbatch in it, or a year old. He is a businessman who has been asked by the FBI to bring messages back and forth during the Cuban Missile Crisis. And it's a true story, actually took place. Yes. Oh, bless you.
Excuse me.
And then I watched
Excuse me.
the current war, Current, Current War, with Benedict Cumberbatch. And this is about, you might know something about this, or both of you guys, because you are smart. You're certifiably
Apparently we're
smart.
not.
Now that
Not
I've
as
said
smart
that-
as you, though, Bob.
No,
you know, it's all relative in the room.
Well, yeah, that's true. So, certifiably smart people like yourselves would know Westinghouse versus Thomas Edison. What do you think they were fighting over? Westinghouse and Thomas Edison.
Electricity.
Do you know anything about that?
I've watched several documentaries on it.
So
Nikola Tesla was a wild card.
Nikola Tesla was working for Westinghouse, right?
He was the wild
Yep.
card.
And he was the wild card. So Tesla, Westinghouse, and Benedict Cumberbatch plays Thomas Edison. And they were all trying to light the Chicago World's Fair.
Edison was kind of a jerk. In
yeah.
the annals of
so-
history, he was a jerk.
Yeah, I gotta
He
read about.
shafted people, including Tesla. That's the reason Tesla got pissed off and decided to go out on his own.
It goes on, yeah. And it's really interesting to watch them light some countries and stuff. And Great Barrington figures into this. Do you know where Great Barrington is?
It was in Edison territory.
Was it
That was-
Edison
that
or
was
what?
D-
Yeah.
It was D.C. Originally, it was D.C.
What do you mean DC?
It worked on the DC system. It didn't work on the thing that powers everything that's around you right now
Yeah,
is alternating current, AC. That
That's
was
right.
Tesla and Westinghouse.
yeah.
Edison proposed the DC current, which would mean you need a power plant on every corner
Yes.
because DC can only go so far.
Yeah. And the first city in the United States to be lit up
New York.
was Great Barrington, of all places.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, according to the movie. I don't know. Yeah, you know,
There's neighborhoods in New
Hollywood.
York that were done before that.
pardon?
There was neighborhoods in New York, including Edison's, that were done before but the entire city maybe was Great Britain.
Yes, no, it's exactly right. Yeah, you're absolutely right there. Peter, you are so smart. So you're going to enjoy this movie.
I don't watch this crap TV that's out there now. I actually watch documentaries and learn from history.
Yeah, there you are. Yeah.
And
You'll
most of the
watch
TV
this-
out there now is crap.
Yeah, watch this film. It's really very, very good, and I think most of them are free on either Netflix. Well, you have to pay for Netflix, but they're on Netflix and or Prime. And
All right, Bob, I
have
got a
it.
question for you. What's the big thing about this Yellowstone thing? My girlfriend's enthralled with it. Rick's girlfriend's enthralled with it. What is
This
the deal
is
with
Kevin.
this yellow?
Somebody. Kevin's in.
Yeah.
Who's it? Kevin who?
I don't know.
The guy in the big thing. What is?
He was in Bull Durham.
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the lead actor in that one.
Yeah, I don't.
I
know.
don't understand. It's like a Western thing apparently too, or something
Yeah,
like that.
it's sort of maybe it's Succession with horses. Yeah, I don't know. Somebody said I got to start to watch Succession. Apparently, that is the greatest TV show they're saying in a long while, like The Sopranos or something. Succession, but Tombstone. She's hooked on
Yellowstone.
Tombstone.
Yellowstone.
Oh, it's Yellowstone.
Yeah.
See, I might watch it if it was Tombstone because I like westerns that are westerns. Well, modern western, Dallas, I guess, would be a modern western, wouldn't it? No,
No, not really.
no.
No, it's not a western. It's
No.
about oil tycoons and
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, but it
That
takes
was-
place modern.
Well, it
no,
takes place in Texas.
I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it.
And what was
hey,
on South Fork? That was the name of the ranch on
listen
Dallas.
to you. Oh my gosh.
That was an '80s. It was an '80s show.
Yeah, you were watching.
That was Is exactly.
that what you were young in the 80s?
Yes.
Your parents let you watch that?
I was in high school in the
High
80s.
school. Okay.
So this, Bob, you would like this series. Yellowstone, the series follows conflicts along the shared borders of a large cattle ranch, a native reservation, and evil land developers. I put in the evil part. The series, 4 seasons, premiered on November 7th, 2021. There's your plot line.
That sounds very, very good. I think I might consider watching that. I got to watch Succession. It took me forever to watch The Sopranos, so I got to get, there's too much television. There's too much good stuff to watch. And finding the time to do it. And
There's a lot of bad stuff out there, too, that are...
man. Oh, name something really bad that you've seen recently.
Television-wise?
Yeah.
Oh, just turn anything on a major network.
The Masked Singer?
Oh my God. No. Oh,
any of those reality shows. Any of them.
Any of them.
Any of them are absolutely horrible. That's not TV.
Well, as a Big Brother fanatic.
Yeah, see, there's that
Big
Brother
yeah,
thing.
Yeah. There is that. Yeah, the Real Housewives of, I just don't want to watch.
Why not?
I don't know. There's one called The Real Housewives of North Pole, which is a Christmas movie or something. The Real Housewives of the North Pole.
What?
Yes, I just saw it the other day. It was Mrs. Claus and who? One of the elves' wives? I don't know. Speaking
you never know what's going on up there.
No, I'm telling you.
In the off season,
Yeah, really. He's got a lot of time on his
Oh,
hands.
for God's sakes.
There's
Speaking
a lot
of Christmas, what's name a present as kids that you don't want to receive? Name a present as a child you do
book.
not. A book. You don't want to receive books.
Kids don't want to receive books, no. As a general
I'd say
rule.
underwear.
Now, underwear, clothes. Yeah.
Any particular clothes that you...
When I was a kid,
yeah.
socks.
Socks?
Now I want them.
Well,
get me socks.
guess
I'm
what?
fine.
Our Wisconsin music director, all right, recommended a song called Socks by J.D. McPherson. It's a really good, and believe it or not, this is a rhythm and blues song.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Socks, a rhythm and blues song. J.D. McPherson. Thank you, Wisconsin.
Early Christmas morning, sneaky as can be, I creep across the carpet and I peek under the tree. Pick out a gift from Mom to me and bring it to my ear. Give it a little shimmy shake and what do I hear? Socks. This is the worst gift I ever got. It doesn't beep or buzz or pop or rattle in the box. Hey, why'd you waste the paper on a lousy pair of socks? Tiptoe to the mantle, a scowl upon my brow. I reach up to my stocking hanging from a holly bough. I reach right in and feel around for Santa Claus's loot, but all I find is something there to insulate my boots. Socks. Santa, how could you let me down? It doesn't slip or slide or spring or make a sound that rocks. Hey, why'd you stuff my stocking with a lousy pair of socks?
pair of.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
I'm Mark Auerbach. Join me every Friday at 8 a.m. for Arts Beat, where you'll meet interesting actors, directors, designers, and musicians here in Western New England.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it's Westfield on Weekend Show. Wow, it's Tuesday, December 14th, 2021, and counting. My name's Bob Plass. I'm here with Rick Barry and the Kitten of the Keys. I haven't heard it all morning. Peter Coles, Kitten of the Keys.
Meow.
Oh, jeez.
The cat's a little tired.
Yeah, really?
The cat's
my
a little
God.
tired this morning.
By the way, how the heck did you get rid of your girlfriend the week before Christmas?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I didn't get rid of her. She took off on her vacation on herself by herself.
Really?
Oh yeah, she's down in sunny Florida.
No.
Yeah.
She's with her girlfriend down there,
with
right?
the
With her
girlfriend.
friend. Yeah, her friend Liz. They're down there doing the visiting the rat.
Yeah.
The mouse, Mickey Mouse. They're in the
Got it.
the House of the Mouse or whatever they call it.
yeah,
They're down in Disney.
There's nothing better than I've never been there for this, but I've heard.
I would
there's
like to
nothing
see
better
Disney
than
at Christmas.
Yeah.
I got to see it both in 1 week.
Really?
If you go down there the week of Thanksgiving, the beginning of the week is regular Disney. Then they close on Thanksgiving Day or the day before.
They close the whole park.
They close everything for an entire day, and they transform the entire park in one day.
Not anymore. They don't.
No?
They do it at closing. It's
Really? It's just an overnight?
transformed overnight. Yes.
Oh my word!
But if you go that week, you can experience both in 1 week.
Yeah. Well, she was in. They were at Hollywood Studios last night. I still want to call it MGM Studios, but they were at Hollywood Studios.
Oh, they call it. They're no longer calling it MGM.
No, it's
Studios?
Hollywood Studios now. So
Well, they probably lost its
yeah, their
sponsorship.
affiliation with MGM, I believe, because Disney does all their own stuff now.
Oh,
So
interesting.
they have their own studios and.
So it's no line. So it's
Disney's Hollywood Studios.
And what about? Isn't there a Universal Park?
Yeah, Universal. Yeah,
That's
so
separate, Bob.
Yep.
Oh, that's separate. Okay.
But
All
she
right.
said it was. They went to. They in one part of the park. They have this snow machine, and it was 73 degrees and snowing in Disney.
Really? Wow.
So.
Oh my God.
Only the magic of Disney.
Yeah. I would like to go to Disney World for Christmas, except I do not enjoy. I want it to be snowing. I want it to be cold. I want it to be cozy, and I somehow don't feel cozy around a pool with a palm tree.
It's not
Period.
that hot, Bob.
Actually, she said yesterday it was.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah?
She says
Usually
it was.
around this time of year, it's in the 70s.
Yeah.
Well, to me, that's a little. 70s. I couldn't wear a sweater. I couldn't. No.
She said they were in shorts and tank tops and they were sweating.
Wow. Hey, guess who is sitting, waiting to come on?
Who's that? Our guest for today?
Yeah.
You guys have to
Dr.
swap
You
microphones.
have any dental problems that you need to talk to the dear doctor about, my good friend Rick?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No.
Are you preventing as we speak? Are you doing some dental prevention?
As we speak.
Well, hygiene.
Dental as we speak, not as
Yeah.
we speak. No.
Well,
But I brushed this morning.
well, that's good. You flossed last night?
Yes.
Did you learn to floss when you were old, or did you learn to floss when you were young?
When we were young.
We were young.
Yes.
See, we didn't learn to floss when we were young. We can talk. We can talk to the doctor about that. It's a really. It's a crying shame that floss didn't appear until it was there, but I don't know. I'd like to let's talk about the history.
Way
of floss.
back when they didn't nobody invented floss yet.
I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe they were using string or I don't know, something other
Horse
than,
hair.
They were
They were using horse hair.
Yeah. Only on the ranch. Only those cowboys on the ranch were using horsehair. That and a violinist from Munich. They were both both using horsehair. And my aunt who stuffed her sofas with horsehair. You know, aren't there horsehair stuff? At any rate,
Anyway, I digress.
Go on. Guess what? Today is Roasted Chestnut Day. It's actually Roast Chestnut Day.
Yes.
So what do you think song I'm going to play?
Chestnuts roasting over an open fire.
Yes.
Which is the Christmas song,
It's
right?
called the Christmas song. It's not chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
But that's what everybody calls it.
Yes.
It's one of those songs that nobody calls it by its actual title.
Never. So here's Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire, sung in a really great way by Pentatonics. We'll be back, and we've got a dentist looming.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by your choir, folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to you. Sing it, They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly, how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to you.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley, with convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut. Visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org.
This is Ken Stomsky from Ken's Den on WCPC 15 and 89.5 FM, Tuesdays, 8 to 10.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Wow, oh gosh, I'm sorry for yelling, folks. December 14th, 2021, and counting. My name's Bob Plassitz. Wow, it's Tuesday, and I'm pleased to announce that once again, I don't know, were you here last month?
Yes, I was. I'm glad you remembered. It must have been a stimulating hour.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Dr. Kevin Coughlin.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Ascent Dental. ASCENT Dental, not oh my God, Aspen Dental got in a lot of trouble this week.
Yes, they did.
Oh my God, is it a cautionary tale? Did you hear about this?
Yes,
Rick?
actually I did.
Yeah,
I was actually kind of.
It was big headlines. Peter, you know about this?
No, I don't watch the news anymore. What happened?
I did a double take because I said, Aspen and Ascent were kind of like close. Did you have that issue as well? I mean,
Only you, Bob. You're too smart for
was
yourself.
I arrested? Was there a lawsuit against me? As far as I know, not this week.
Not this. There is no lawsuit against Ascent Dental.
Thank
not
God.
at the moment. Yeah, and hopefully never.
But what you're talking about is corporate health care as compared to private, and both have their problems. It's difficult to be a private small business person, and it's difficult to be a large corporation. The checks and balances many times are thousands of miles away by people who have no knowledge or clinical expertise in dentistry. But that's the state of healthcare today, and we see it in the insurance industry, we see it in medicine, and we see it in dentistry, and it continues to spread. That's not to say companies like Aspen and other corporations can't do a great job, because they have some advantages.
Yeah.
As we see, they can sometimes be open more. They have more dollars, discretionary income to spend. They can sometimes put in controls and checks and balances that a small operation many times can't. But at the end, I think the public wants to know who their healthcare provider is, where that health provider is coming from, and where are the directions? Where is the service, the care?
Where did they get in trouble? Where did Aspen get in trouble?
Well, in many cases, the problem is when you accept dental plans, any dental plan, it's difficult to advertise and market free anything. For example, if Delta Dental and almost all dental plans have fee schedules today.
Yeah.
So someone like myself who's still practicing full time for close to 40 years, usually the dental plan was they would pay a part or a percentage of a procedure, and then the patient would pay the balance. Today, almost all plans have a fee schedule, and that fee schedule dictates what a corporation or a dentist can charge their patient, Mr. or Mrs. Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And if you advertise certain specials, certain treatments, then you have to offer that to the insurance-based patients also. So the gist of the argument is like most marketing, it's really meant to get you in the door.
So they use the word free in their ad. Is that what happened, Rick?
Yes. What I heard on the radio is what the good doctor was saying is that even if you don't have insurance, we can take care of you for free. Because they played it the other day on the radio, and I was listening to talk radio, and that was part of their commercial.
And then once you come into the organization, you realize that there are these ancillary charges. I equate it to when you go to a restaurant, you look at your bill, and they now charge you for bread. They charge you for salt and pepper. They charge you for water.
For an ice cube.
It's happening in the airlines right now.
Right. And the reason for that is when you go to a fee schedule, many times any medical or dental procedure requires numerous steps. And when you can a la carte the procedure, you can increase your revenue or billables. unlike when you just have a gross fee. So, for example, if you went into a fancy steak restaurant and it says the steak is $55, but then it's another $10 for the mashed potatoes, another $10 for the vegetables.
Oh, I hate that.
So it's sort of misleading when you think, geez, my meal is $55, but if you look at the menu carefully, you'll find out that there's a fee for everything else. So, for example, in dentistry, is there a fee for the anesthesia? Is there a fee for the filling material? Is there a fee for the consultation, the exam, the radiograph? So rather than having a global one fee, you're thinking you're getting a tooth fixed and it's $100 for discussion purposes.
Right.
And then you walk out to the desk and it's $300. And that's because the filling had one fee, the medicaments had another fee, the anesthesia had a fee, the radiograph had a fee, and the exam had a fee. So the gist of it is in summary, Aspen was accused of basically luring, sort of tricking people to come in.
Bait and switch?
Yes. And my personal opinion is the average consumer, you'd think at this point in time, should understand that nothing's for free. But in the world that I personally live in, many times people come in and they'll say, you know, Dr. Jones, he's doing it for free. We hear it from our governments. We hear it from our politicians. I personally have never agreed with the word free because somebody somewhere is paying for it. So that was the gist of that particular incident, and it's going throughout the country. It just so happens a big fish like Aspen, who has close to 700 or 800 practices throughout the nation, if you're trying to corral problems rather than go to a solo practitioner that might have 6 or 8 employees, you're going to go to a large corporation that has thousands of dentists that work for them, and those dentists are compensated on production and collection.
Right.
In capitalism, the motivation is generally the more money you make, the better the corporation does. So if we invested our stocks and you wanted to invest, you want to invest in companies that are making money.
So the message is up here coming from Aspen corporate. Right. The delivery of services is down here with the dentists, the individual dentists.
The corporations are growing at about 6 to 8% every year, year in and year out. I've talked many times that my personal opinion is in the next 20, 25 years, you will be very unlikely to find a solo practice like myself.
Wow.
It's difficult to compete. I've used the analogy with the pharmacists. How many independent pharmacies do you actually see? It's Walgreens.
Oh my gosh! Now that you think about
CVS,
it, can you name one around here?
They're all gone.
Is there any at all?
No. The last one I knew of was Lewis and Clark, but I think they were bought up by Big Y, and then they were bought out by somebody else.
Isn't Arrow still independent? That might be the only one.
The point is that
There's
if
very
you went
little.
back 20, 25 years ago, the majority of the pharmacists were independent. Today, they're all corporations, and the same thing has happened in medicine. It's very, very difficult to find a private practitioner that's actually private.
Sure.
Many times they're owned by the hospital or insurance companies or private equity groups.
Is there a law that says you have to be transparent about who you're
the strategies today for the dental market, which I don't want to say I'm an expert, but I have a fair amount of experience, is there's 2 types of brands in the dental market. One brand allows you to keep your private name. So you keep your private name, and it gives the illusion to the public that you're privately owned, but in reality, a large corporation owns you. And I put quotations in own because in many states, only a dentist can provide dental care. However, you get around that with similar contracts that you find a dentist that's going to agree with what corporations want.
Yeah.
So they basically, they have an employment agreement, and you agree to what their agreements and wants and needs are. I'm generalizing, of course, and like I said, there's some good things with these corporations. Uh, they make the market more competitive, at least in the early stages.
Yeah.
And they have the wherewithal to bring in checks and balances that sometimes a private practitioner can't. But in the end, I believe the public should know. The other group in the dental market is a brand like Aspen or Heartland or Specific or Cool Smiles.
Yeah.
They purchase you and then they immediately change the name. So there's no misunderstanding. Aspen is a corporation.
Right.
And those two brands are sort of fighting it out. If you ask me, I think the Aspens are a more honest approach. Mr. and Mrs. Smith know they're going to a corporation. It's not owned by Dr. Kevin Coughlin.
Right.
When you go to other companies, I believe many times that consumer or patient is under the illusion that it's owned by a private dentist,
Yeah.
and it's not.
Yeah. So one last thing for us to ask is, if you're a consumer, if you're a dental patient, and you say to a doctor, how much is this going to cost? You would say, doctor, how much is my crown going to cost? Would that be? Is that an example?
In my opinion,
What do
I can
what do
only
you say?
speak to you in my own experience.
Yeah.
But we write it down
Uh-huh.
for Mr. and Mrs. Smith. We orally explain it to Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and then we have them sign a financial arrangement for Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Today, I used to be able to tell you what my fee schedule was for every procedure
Yeah.
because I've been doing it for 40 years.
Sure.
But as I mentioned earlier in the segment, that every dental plan right now has a fee schedule. So if Rick comes in for a filling and his insurance is Cigna, they may give me $61.22. When Bob comes in for the same filling on the same tooth and has Aetna, they may pay me $43.21. It's the exact same.
So could you?
So in order to find out what that fee is,
Yeah.
you have to put it into the computer.
Right.
Unless you're some kind of mathematical savant, there's 3,000 different insurance plans in the United States, and each plan has a different fee schedule, and that fee schedule changes. Sometimes it goes up, but in most cases it goes down.
Could you say
Haven't we
that
been talking about this for years, though?
Yes.
You need you need more insurance coders than you do clinicians.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
when you take a look at the cost of running these businesses and you look at your team members, so many of them, 100% are responsible for the patient's insurance information, because if I was to take a look at everyone here in this room and
Yeah.
say, can you tell me about your dental plan?
Oh.
Chances are you know nothing. You
Yeah,
give
yeah.
us a card
Yeah.
and go, not my job, not my problem.
Let's check that out.
Yeah.
Rick, do you have a dental plan that you know nothing? Okay, I have a dental plan. I have
Wait,
nothing.
Rick
about.
has no plan?
No.
I'm just going
I
to
have no
move a
plan.
little more over.
I have no plan.
Yes, yeah. It's
Oh
Bob,
my God.
it's
But my
Bob
pockets
Moore.
aren't
Rick,
that deep, though.
They're not that deep.
No.
Well, we still got.
All
There's
right,
a
I'm
plan.
done with-
I'm in the kiddie. I'm in the kiddie
Come on
pool.
over
with
here where you're
Yeah.
safer.
So
Hey, it
that's,
won't pay for your Tesla.
Okay.
that's the business side
But
of
could
medicine.
are you able then to say, okay, my insurance will pay 40%. Yeah, Rick's insurance will pay 60. So therefore, I'm going to make it up so that I get. I'm going to charge Bob more than.
Well, that's part of fraud.
Oh, that-
and
oh, really?
That's you're breaking the law. Okay, so I can't charge Bob a different fee than Rick. That's against the law. There's one fee schedule, and if you look at it, if you hired a painter, and the painter had to strip the walls, sand the walls, they probably charge more. But in America today, everyone considers a filling, a crown,
Yeah.
an extraction. And I believe that's been done by insurance companies who have marketed it to the public. And I'm going, wouldn't you think it would cost more money to fix a Rolls Royce than it would a Hyundai?
Yeah.
Most people
Right.
would assume that. Wouldn't you think
Yeah.
it would be more expensive to fly on a supersonic jet
Yeah.
than a Piper Cub?
That's
Most people would understand that.
Yeah. Well, look,
You're flying first class compared to
So you're
Coke.
comparing like my mouth is a Dodge Rambler and Rick's is a Rolls Royce.
Because of HIPAA, I refuse to go down that. But the point is every procedure is a little different. The guidelines may be similar.
Yeah.
But for example, I can extract. Yesterday I extracted 4 wisdom teeth. Okay, and it took me close to an hour and a half. Those teeth were buried almost behind the ear.
Oh, my
Very
word.
difficult. Later on in the day, I removed impacted wisdom teeth, and quite honestly, in and out in less than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But the fee schedule is the same.
Uh-huh.
So the key is,
And it's not based on time. It's not how much-
based, to my knowledge, on any scientific data whatsoever. You might think that these large companies have put hours and hours of sophistication in it, but
Yeah.
quite honestly,
Yeah.
they go, look at all the dentists are charging 100, so we'll charge 90. And I personally don't mind to control fees, but
Yeah.
it should go both ways.
Sure.
My premiums have never gone down in 40 years for an insurance.
Yeah.
They've only gone up, yet the reimbursement year after year goes down,
Got it.
and they know they can get away with it because as they infiltrate your practice with more and more dental plans, you have difficulties getting away from that because you'd be out of business.
Yeah.
So if the
Yeah.
average dental office has, let's say, 2,000 active patients and 90% of them are on insurance, you've got to be pretty brave and gutsy to wake up January 2nd and say to yourself, I'm going to get rid of those plans.
Oh, yeah.
The average patient goes to the website and says, Dr. Kevin Coughlin is taking my insurance and Dr. Jones is not. Probably you're going to walk into Dr. Coughlin's office first.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what the public has been fed. That's what the public understands. Yet every day, people will go and buy a Tory Burch or a Michael Kors bag and spend $700, $800, $900. Yet you could still get a purse or a pocketbook at J.C. Penney's
Right.
for $25.
Yeah.
They're making those judgments
Yeah.
every day, whether you go out and buy a $100,000 vehicle or a $25,000 vehicle.
Yeah.
You buy a $3,000 suit or a $180 suit. People are making those decisions every day, but in healthcare, they've dummied it down to everything is the same.
Yeah.
And, you can, I think we were going to talk about Alzheimer's disease. We were going to talk about hypoxia, apnea, and the business side has an effect on the clinical side.
Yeah.
As you decrease the fees, as you become more corporate, you'll find that your patients have less options, less choices. It's mainstream. What's good for one has to be good for everyone. And in the real world, Rick's particular dental needs, Pete's particular dental needs, and Bob's and Kevin's are different.
Yeah, I've got this Rambler here that I should have jugged back in
As a matter
on
of
5.
fact, yes, I wouldn't even park next year. I was embarrassed. Yeah,
All right, let's.
Sometimes you can't even get parts for those anymore.
No,
Bob,
right,
so.
that's true. Oh my God! Speak to my dentist, please. All right, so hey, we're also used to hearing "Sleigh Ride," the Leroy Anderson tune, at Christmas time. I found a great version. This is tap dancing with Sleigh Ride. This is a tap dancer who taps Sleigh Ride with Scott Bradley of Postmodern Jukebox. So this is a tap dancing Sleigh Ride, if you get my drift.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Join us every Thursday morning
From 6 until at least 7:30.
Check out the Bobby G and Company Show.
Right here on WSKB 89.5.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Eleanor Powell.
He's coming.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning. We're talking about great famous dancers. And Kevin challenged me in the break. Although I have no idea why you came up with this. All of a sudden, out of a clear blue, he says
were
to me,
listening
"It's
to a
great."
tap dance
Oh,
song.
we were.
Yes.
Oh, that's
That's
oh,
a pretty good segue.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
listening
That's,
to tap dancers, and I said, geez, I don't know of any real popular tap dancers
other
today.
than
And I said, this is
Gregory
your
Hines.
area of expertise.
So you asked me to name some tap dancers.
And Brenda came right to your mind,
Yeah, I
but
said
no last
yeah,
name,
no,
no information, just Brenda.
Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire and Brenda.
Dick Powell, is that who you said?
Cindy down the street from you in Agawam.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there a
Brenda
Brenda Buffalino?
Yeah.
What is she? She's a tap dancer. I named
Yes.
her. Right?
Yes.
Am
Yep.
I right?
Yeah, she co-founded, choreographed, and the director of the American Tap Dance Foundation.
And she's got, 2 people following her on social media.
And she's from Swampscott, Mass.
How do you like that?
Wow.
I have no idea.
She's 84
why.
years old.
She's 84.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How do I know that?
I don't know how.
You're an expert in your field.
I
Yes.
could have.
You're just a genius.
He's a tap dancing savant.
Yes.
A tap dancing savant. Yeah. You have
Better
to learn
than an
tap-
idiot
When you
savant,
were a
then.
kid, did your mother try to get you into tap dancing or into show business in any way? Because my mother tried.
She realized at a young age I had no talent.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, she broke it to me easy.
My mother took my brother and I. We had tap dancing lessons early on.
Mm-hmm.
Then she bought the accordion. Thinking that we were
Damn accordion again.
Yeah. Honest to God, she really wanted us to be in showbiz, but she was a little off. So her choice.
So she wanted you to be in show business, so she got you to play the accordion.
Yeah. Well, because I was not so great a tapper. I got to say, my tap dancing was not so great. I did take tap dancing lessons. Have you ever taken tap dancing? It's actually
no,
a great.
I have taken ballroom dancing.
You have?
Yes, and quite honestly, I failed miserably at that, but I had some fun. We had some laughs.
Did
but
you
yeah,
really?
Yeah.
What was your favorite dance there?
What's my
Doctor?
favorite dance? The twist.
The twist.
Oh, I took guitar lessons for 11 years, and in my 11th year, the teacher told my father that he didn't think I had the rhythm. And my father said, how come it took 11 years for you to figure that out?
It's so.
Hey, it happens.
My dad had a great sense of humor. Instead of being upset, he goes, how come it took you so long to figure this one out? Like, he's been listening to me night after night.
That's right.
Oh man.
It took my grandfather only one to figure out I had no rhythm either.
No rhythm, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's
Now,
the way it goes.
Rick, did you have Did your mother have aspirations of you on a stage someplace other than to Tucson?
No.
No,
Not at all. No.
No.
You know, like I told you, I'm the last of 9 kids. So by the time I came along, my parents were like, "Yeah, whatever."
Yeah.
You go play.
Your name,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You're lucky that
Yeah.
you even have a name. That's
Half the you know who named me was my brothers and sisters. My parents had nothing to do with naming me. So
No, you're kidding me.
No,
What did
no.
they take a vote?
Yeah, I think so.
Survey says
4-4 because it was only 80.
Exactly.
Really? 9 kids. Can you imagine that?
No,
How many in your family?
just my brother and myself.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah, I got one brother.
Yeah. I had a brother I have a brother and a sister. Yeah.
No, it would have been nice, I think, to have a nice big family, but it just it
9
didn't happen.
people though. Did you ever feel like you were crowded?
every day.
Do you ever feel like you weren't crowded?
How many bathrooms?
Yeah.
One.
One. There you go.
Bathroom.
Yeah, 3-bedroom ranch.
Oh.
A 3-bedroom ranch.
How'd you stack them in, like cordwood?
One bathroom. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, downstairs was like a barracks
You
for all the
got through
boys.
Day after day without any real huge issues, right?
Yeah,
You learn
exactly.
to share. You
Yep.
learn to get by.
For school, I'd have to get up early and
Were
take
you
my
the-
shower and
were-
get ready and
so
go back
were
to
you
bed
the
for.
one- yeah. Oh, so you really knew when you, or did you have a number when you were taking the shower? Did they?
Well, being the youngest,
You had your
I'm sure it
assigned-
was last, right?
you had your
Everybody
assigned
pushing
slot,
you.
right?
Assigned slot.
Yeah. No,
Did you?
I usually got up first before my sisters got into the bathroom booth. They were getting ready for school, and so I mean that was what you did. And then I went back to bed till it was time to get up and get dressed.
Oh,
So-
okay. Oh, well, that's nice. Yeah, I like going back to bed.
Yeah, we got to have a system with 9
Yeah.
kids,
In
and
one
actually
bathroom.
11. Mom and
11 people in 11 people in a 3-bedroom house.
What were the meals like in that?
Oh.
I mean, like, your mother never ever cooked in one of my little pots? Where
Oh,
I,
no.
no, never.
And my mother worked for 42 years as a nurse, the 3 to 11 shift. 42 years.
Wow.
That generation is gone.
Yeah, 3 to 11, and my dad worked 11.
Now you can't get kids to work for 20 minutes.
So
my dad worked the night shift. He worked 11 to 7 for the telephone company.
Wowie.
So yeah,
That's where my dad worked, phone company too.
Yeah.
But you think of it, 11 people, you can't even go anywhere as a group.
No.
Not going to fit in one car.
No.
You're actually not going to fit probably in 2 cars.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it's general car, 5 people in a car.
Very true.
I remember as a kid, we had the station wagon with the seat going, backwards.
Yes.
So I was always in the back looking at where we were. I never knew where we were going. I knew where we had been.
Now, that would have been a way to do a discount when the family comes in of 11 and you're going to charge them for 11 cleaning.
Oh.
You might say, look,
Yeah, really.
You buy
if
3,
you have
get one
more
free.
kid, I'll give you 10% off.
You've got,
Because that's
cheaper
the
by
kind of,
the
I'm a
dozen.
big hearted
You're
guy.
a big
Really?
Yeah. I would talk
Really?
to the parents and say, if you had one more, I could give you that
can't.
5 or 10% off. But at 11, it just
Wait,
doesn't.
so where did 11 toothbrushes fit in the bathroom?
They were there in a cup, and it was just
Bob, you make it
They're
work.
not. They're not even
You
11
do. You make
colors,
it.
are
You
they?
make it work.
How do you know that you're not having your brother's
Right.
toothbrush or whatever?
Well, you gotta consider at 9 kids by the time there was a couple of years between a few of us. So the
that's true,
ages,
that's
some of
true,
them were
that's
Get ready to leave.
right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
but at times there were, and I mean, the holidays were 35 to 40 people in the house, and we would move the furniture out of the living room to set up another table for Thanksgiving.
Nice memories.
Yeah,
right? When you
yeah,
look back,
exactly.
I
Yeah.
mean,
How
And-
were the teeth in your family?
Pretty good.
pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty
yeah.
good.
Like
Just
that,
pretty
yeah.
good, Doc.
Pretty
You know,
good.
and I will
Pretty
tell you
sure.
something though.
Yeah.
The first time I ever brought my girlfriend for one of my girlfriends for Thanksgiving dinner, and she's sitting there.
Clarification.
She's sitting there. She had one sister. So imagine this. She's from a small family, and
Yeah.
there's 35 people for Thanksgiving. She's sitting there behind the table, like petrified, going. And I said to her, I says, once something comes by you, if you want it, you better take it now because it might not be coming back. There's no
one and done.
Yeah, there's no second chances in the food.
Run and done. I love it. I love it. What are the odds in that family that somebody would have a cavity problem?
100%. 100%. You could take that to the bank.
Really?
Oh, God. Well, you can look at it 2 ways, depending. Sometimes you're with a big family, just financially, you have to demand prevention. And I think with 11 people, you're probably not eating a lot of candy and a lot of junk because financially it's a waste of money.
Yeah.
So you could look at it sometimes that I actually see better health care in a larger family than I do with a smaller family because the kids spoil. Anything little John or Mary want, they give them.
Yeah.
Okay, and in essence, most, I think you had mentioned at one of the breaks, the single largest chronic disease in the United States is dental caries.
Cavities.
It's more common than the cold. And if you looked at it, it's 99% brought on by diet. Most of our foods are processed, and the processed foods do a terrible job on your dental health. And
What is it about a processed food that is
the sugar breaks down and creates an acid. That acid is what eats a hole in your tooth and creates a dental caries, or a cavity, would be the layman's term. And most processed foods are soft, so they tend to stick to your tongue, your cheeks, and your gums and your teeth. So that processed material stays in your mouth longer. Whereas if you had a nut or a piece of fruit, generally it gets digested and broken down quickly and doesn't hang around. And in essence, I don't know this, but I'm assuming Mom and Dad weren't bringing home packages of candy, gum, and junk
No,
because
you're exactly right.
financially
Nope.
it was a waste of money.
Yep. And my mom made dinner every day before she went to work, and it was there. And my father would come home from the golf course,
and
before he went to bed,
heat it.
and heat it up and put it on the table for dinner. And they were all homemade meals. They weren't any
Well, think of the
prepackaged.
expense of taking 11 people out to dinner.
Oh yeah.
I mean, financially, you just couldn't do it. So to answer your question, sometimes healthcare is actually sometimes better in a large family, depending on the parental background.
Yeah.
Which is
So you mentioned the idea of food hanging around our mouth. So I'm thinking that all-day suckers, lollipops, are the worst kind
great
of candy.
for my business, bad for your pocketbook.
Really bad.
Very bad. I mean, even the coffee that we're drinking, most of us will sip this coffee over the course of an hour and a half.
Yes.
Whereas if you just drank the coffee, it'd probably have no deleterious effects on your oral health at all.
Right.
But soda, fruit drinks, most people just sip it. And as they sip it, it's staying in your mouth, it's diluting your saliva, which increases the acidity. And as the acidity increases, it does more damage to your teeth.
Can you take something? Is xylitol something that
Yes.
reduces the acid? I see that in a lot of gums and stuff.
Well, what they're doing is they're changing for caloric intake, all right? But any sugar, regardless of sucrose, glucose, fructose,
Anything
they all
with
break
toast.
down to an alcohol. And
Including Splenda or
yes.
including Splenda.
Yes. Okay. They all eventually break down, but those products are in because they're less expensive and there's less calories many times. But from a dental health standpoint, the concept is anything breaks down ultimately to an acid, and it's the acid. So it's the bacteria in your mouth that are breaking down these food components ultimately to an acid, and ultimately it's that acid that sort of eats a little hole in your tooth. And like you said earlier, dental caries is more common than the cold in the United States. So after fluoridating the entire country,
Right.
from a public health standpoint, the question that you'd ask is dental caries up or down? It's up. So has it been effective? You could make a pretty good argument that the answer would be no. So we've put everyone in the country, most people, on some kind of fluoride from a...
Do we have fluoride in our
in
water
Westfield,
now? See,
you
I
don't.
haven't thought about that
Westfield,
since the 50s.
you don't, but in I think there's in Massachusetts 147, I'll call them water dispensaries. Not all of them provide fluoride because some communities are against it.
Yeah, Westfield voted it down a few years ago. I think it was maybe 10 years ago or so.
So for those listeners, if you have well water and your well water tests as 0.6 parts per million of fluoride or higher, you don't want to supplement any more fluoride because too much fluoride gives you a condition called fluorosis, which makes your teeth brown, weak, and very unattractive. So you want to stay 0.6 parts per million or less.
Where do you get, if you've got well water, where do you get that test?
Health department. Health department will test
okay.
it. But generally speaking, the dosages are 0.25 milligrams of fluoride, 0.5 milligrams of fluoride, and 1 milligram of fluoride. It starts from 6 months to age 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 16, because those are when your teeth are developing.
So, okay, so where is it good to give a kid fluoride? Should our kids be using fluoride toothpaste at age 5, 6, 4?
You
3?
start, the first thing is
When
your
are they-
community
yeah.
water fluoridated, yes or no? If it is, you need the dosage. So typically, it's going to be between 0.3 and 0.6 parts per million, which is considered the optimal dose of fluoride to reduce dental disease. That's
Okay.
the optimal dose. And then the question comes in is there's two types of fluorides. There's a systemic fluoride, which means it's induced. When you drink water that's fluoridated, it goes through your entire system and ultimately ends in your bones and in your teeth. That's systemic. Then you have topical fluoride, which just rests on the surface, doesn't go into your bones because you're not really swallowing it. You're just brushing it on your teeth.
Is that good?
The topical fluoride, in my opinion, is good.
Yeah.
The key is from a public health standpoint. I'm not a public health person, but for those people in it, to cure the problem for the masses, it's much more cost effective to put it in the water supply so everyone's getting it. So if my kids have no processed sugar, they brush their teeth 3 times a day, they don't eat candy and junk, they're not have any medical issues, why would I want to subject them to fluoride every day? But for the kid who eats 4 pounds of chocolate a day, nobody's paying attention to him, that's beneficial.
Yeah.
But from a cost standpoint, the state is paying the bill. Hundreds of millions of dollars are spent on prevention. And the question is it working? And the data is the data.
Yeah.
Are more kids having more dental disease, so they have dental hygienists in the schools.
Right.
So instead of teaching them math, science, and history, they're getting their teeth cleaned.
So, okay, so which brings us to flossing.
No, I don't want to talk about it.
All right. No.
Well, Bob, you see,
so the key for flossing, and most people, if you thought about it, when you brush your teeth, your brushing doesn't get in between teeth.
Yeah.
Because your teeth generally have contacts.
Yeah.
Your teeth are close together. So how do you get the bacteria in food debris out between your teeth?
Yeah.
And the floss is a very inexpensive, simple way to remove the bacteria that cause almost all dental diseases. And those diseases, that chronic inflammation, you had mentioned you wanted to talk about dementia, Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
How does that happen? And many of the experts are saying chronic inflammation is creating some of these plaques that occur in the brain, which are the early signs of dementia.
Whoa.
And if you can reduce inflammation, and one of the most chronic types of inflammation is in your mouth.
Yeah.
Anytime you brush or floss and you see blood in the sink or on your toothbrush, you have inflammation.
Yeah.
And that inflammation is chronic. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they believe that that has at least some early signs of not helping the cognitive brain function, because your body's constantly insulted with this chronic inflammation. And they certainly have linked it to heart disease, stroke, respiratory problems, and now they're looking at the association with dementia.
Wild. So that flossing is a
More important than you
Okay,
think.
so am I right that when we grew up, 40s, 50s, and 60s, flossing was not common?
No.
I don't even remember being flossed. I mean, having anyone even bring in a floss.
Well, a lot had
when
to
did
do.
floss come into the market?
In 1906,
It was made of horsehair,
It
right?
was a Monday morning. It was
morning.
windy that day.
Oh, man.
Okay, for those who are
Partly
actually
cloudy.
listening to me, that's a total fabrication. It just popped into my head.
Yeah, it's good.
It was probably 1905.
19. All right.
Bob, you remember that, right?
Yes, I do remember. I woke up one morning and somebody said, "You know what was invented today?
And
Get out that floss."
in the early stages of dental care, most medicines were not preventive in nature. They were reactive.
Yeah.
They took care of the problem. They didn't really focus in on preventing the problem. It was back in the 50s and 60s, again, through many times of public health, they're looking at how do we control costs. And I think most people understand prevention is the best way to save money. Rather than give you a lung transplant, try to convince you not to smoke. Rather than have...
Why didn't they think about this back in the 40s and 50s? I mean, why were we not told to floss? I don't remember any. We were taught about brush, but none about floss.
Most Western medicine has always focused on being reactive. They react to a problem, they treat the problem.
Yeah.
Whereas Eastern medicine was more on prevention. I think today you're seeing that Western medicine, primarily, in my opinion, through financial motivation, it's just a much less expensive way to deal with the cost of everything. In other words, let's try to prevent it.
So, Rick, just look up when floss was invented.
Well, that's what I just did,
yeah.
and it's kind of interesting. It's the first patent was given to Johnson & Johnson Corporation in 1898.
I was off.
What?
by a few years.
For you, just a few years.
Slap
Just
my
a
hand.
few
I'm
years.
so sorry.
You know,
1898.
Yep, 1898.
But when was it being manufactured? Were they advertising it back then, and we just didn't?
Well, actually,
First of all, it would have only been on billboards because there was probably very few people at TV.
it says
It
here,
was radio or billboards.
Levi Spears Parmley, a dentist from New Orleans, is credited with inventing the first form of dental floss in 1819.
1819.
Oh.
He recommended running a waxened silk thread through the intersections of the teeth between their necks and the arches of the gums to dislodge the irritating material.
Oh, man.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Huh.
Which is better,
Interesting.
the wax that glides through your teeth, or just? I somehow or other don't like wax because it seems like it glides. I need some kind of friction there.
I have like a push through that's got like bristles on it, graduated bristles, plastic
Pete,
bristles.
Pete, that's like the Mercedes-Benz of flossing.
Yeah, really.
It's made by
Yes,
it's made by
Pete is
GUM.
well educated.
It's nice because you can just push it through and get stuff that you need to get.
The key is it's inexpensive. It's easy. Most people are under the misconception that a water pick is going to remove. The water picks will remove gross food debris.
Right.
But once that plaque or bacteria puts almost like a slime coating, it's not going to be removed with anything other than friction. And the floss is an inexpensive, easy way to remove through friction. You need, and the analogy I use in the office, it's like barnacles on a boat. You take that boat out of the water at the end of the boating season, and you have all these little crustaceans, these barnacles that are attached to the boat. You can scrub all you want. You need special treatment to get those off. And
Okay,
that's
but
what you
when you get a certain age, like in my rambler of a mouth, okay, all right, I have a lot of crowns. So you were mentioning, and every day, every night, I have a treat. You love it. I have walnuts every night.
Nice.
And fat-free ice cream. Fat-free yogurt, frozen yogurt, and with a few raisins. Okay, so raisins and walnuts. Raisins for the iron, walnuts because they're healthy. But I have to be very careful when I'm brushing because underneath the gum of the crowns, I mean, as you get older, your gums are
Your gums
receding,
recede.
et
This
cetera, et
material
cetera.
gets caught underneath
How
there.
do you ever? I mean, so now it's coming the day after Christmas. I can't wait. It's I think it might be what Peter has. It's an oral flosser water pick, whatever.
No, mine are like disposables.
Oh, are yours are disposable?
Yeah, you just tear off a little piece, and it's about yay long, and you just push it in and out in between.
And what's the brand? Do you remember?
GUM.
GUM gum.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
They make a lot of different products.
But that water pick, my dentist is saying you need a water pick.
You'll get rid of the gross food debris that get caught under what they call the margins of the crown. If you think about it, any type of restoration, whether it be a metal filling, a tooth-colored filling, or a crown or a cap, it goes onto your tooth. And that material meets the natural tooth. Where
Right.
that junction is called a margin.
Yeah.
And when you're looking at bacteria is microns. It's invisible. It's so small.
And they're looking for these margins.
And they're going underneath that. They can transfer underneath it. And that's why people say, how can I get a cavity under a filling? How can I get a cavity under a crown? Because in layperson's mind, that's a seal.
Yeah.
But in reality, there's no such thing as a seal to bacteria. Bacteria is so small, it's so minute, that it can float in and under because you never have an actual complete seal. If you were to look at the studies, most margins, the best in the world by the most technically sophisticated dentists, have an opening of 50 to 75 microns. That's like a garage door open for a bacteria. Okay? So hygiene is important whether you have crowns on, fillings on. You constantly have to maintain that hygiene to reduce the bacteria that's going to create recurrent decay and disease.
This is a lot of
Hey,
work.
Bob, this is what I
God.
use.
It's huge.
What is it?
There you go.
Gum soft picks.
So it's a little disposable thing, and see, it goes to tapered.
And does that
Those
go
are little plastic,
in
like
between.
rubber brushes.
It goes in between,
You
but
just
you
push
can
it-
use it. You use that for your entire
Mouth.
cleaning.
Yes.
No, I just use it to floss.
Yeah, but you go around your mouth
Yeah.
using that.
Yep.
Oh, I gotta try
So
these.
those little bristles create friction.
Gum
and break
soft
up.
picks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's sort of like the Cowboys. When
Pete,
I-
if you could put up a picture of Ascent Dental now for some marketing, I know that's inappropriate. I'm
listen
actually
to your-
ashamed that I actually mentioned it.
I
oh my
listen to-
God! Yeah.
Take that away.
I listen to
no,
your
no,
I
I'm
listen
sorry.
to your advertisements on the radio.
Okay.
Oh
it'll
my
never
God!
happen
On
again.
TV, you are a handsome dude on
Well,
television.
I was
there.
just going to mention that.
Wait a minute. On TV, you're a handsome.
Oh, yes,
So
yes.
is he
Yeah, well,
in
that's
person?
real
You're
life.
not. It's
Yeah,
amazing what they
yeah,
can do
yeah.
with makeup, huh?
Yes, that's everything.
You're a lot uglier in person than you are on television.
Yes.
No, that's not
Yes.
true at all.
Wow,
no,
Bob.
no.
Oh.
How
That
often,
hurts, but I'll bounce back.
How
Shots
often do you
fired.
change your commercials on television?
It should be done every 3 months, in my opinion.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, I'm actually going tonight. There's been some issues about children and children dentists and issues with young kids getting care. And
Yeah.
a radio station asked me if I could make some comments on it.
Got it.
So I'll do it today.
Yeah.
But, when you're a small-time operator, there's an expense and
Yeah.
there's a time element.
Yeah.
I have to do it tonight at like 7:30 at night because
Yeah.
I'm working all day.
I
You've
don't
got
know.
to see your patients. That's
Yeah.
I mean, you can't be a TV star all the time.
No, I don't think I've ever been one, but I appreciate that plug. Yeah. So,
Well, you know what? I as you were talking, I was comparing your commercials to Bob's Furniture. Now, Bob's Furniture used to advertise. They used to have a commercial like every week, a
sold
new
out.
one. Are they still advertising? I haven't seen a Bob's commercial in a long time.
Every once in a while, he doesn't even own it anymore.
Bob's Furniture is not owned by Bob?
No, it's owned by a conglomeration now.
Oh,
so
not
those
Aspen Dental.
conglomerations. These groups come in and they look at your budget.
Yeah.
And they say to themselves, if you've got 800 offices, do you necessarily really have to advertise that much? Particularly in the dental field, because
Sure.
in the dental field, most dentists don't market or advertise at all.
Yeah.
They just figure it's not worth their time, their expertise. They're not comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, most really are just looking for between 1,200 and 2,000 active patients to stay in business.
The real lesson in today's thing is marketing. We started with marketing and we're ending with marketing.
Yeah.
So here's marketing for you in a way. You are Ascent Dental. If we wanted
I'm
to
Ascent
reach you,
Dental.
yes.
Ascent Dental has 4 general dental practices. It's owned by me. There is no corporation involved. And there's some pluses and minuses to that. We're
Yeah.
open from 7:30 in the morning until 8 p.m.
Holy
We're open
mother.
Saturday from 8 to 1.
When do you sleep?
Is usually in the office.
Oh.
But in any case, it's a general dental practice. I'm on staff at Bay State Mercy Noble Hospital, and there's no aspects of dentistry.
Where
for
would
sleep
we? How do we go? AscentDental.com.
Well, actually, we'd pick you up, okay? Just call us.
This is good.
And yes,
This
I
is
mean,
great.
the tagline
Pick you up
is
on the
better
Rambler.
care, better service, better results.
There you go.
Yeah.
We'll do almost anything.
Okay.
But thank you for the plug. But as always,
AscentDental.com.
I enjoy being here.
Oh, we
It's
always.
fun.
What
It's
are
a
you
good
doing
group.
for Christmas?
We're having Christmas Eve at our home.
Yeah.
And we're having Christmas Day at my mother-in-law's, who's 93 years old.
Oh, my gosh.
And I
Bless her.
felt it would be fair for her to do everything. I don't think that's wrong, do you?
I don't. No. Rick
No.
gets
No.
it's absolutely right.
So she started about a month ago, so I don't know if everything will be real fresh.
Listen.
You know you're going to be in trouble if she hears
Oh,
that.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she's a
Yeah,
wonderful
yeah.
woman. She's
Well,
doing great.
Yeah, well, good. Listen, we wish you and your family the healthiest and happiest of holidays.
And right back at you guys.
Yes.
Thank you,
And
Pete.
we'll see you in the new year.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. I think I will be coming back from
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, so I might even zoom in for all I know.
Good for
we
you.
might even zoom in. At any rate. Hey everybody! This is a great song. It was playing in 1945. This was the big hit in 1940 when I was born. Incidentally, this was playing on the radio, and it's so appropriate.
And he remembers it.
Yes, exactly right. Bing Crosby and the Les Paul Trio. It's been a long, long time. This is a very good song for this season. It's been a long, long time. All right, listen to this. See you next.
Kiss me once, then kiss me twice, then kiss me once again. It's been a long, long time. Haven't felt like this, my dear, since I can't remember when. It's been a long, long time. You'll never know how many dreams I dreamed about you, or just how empty they all seemed without you. So kiss me once, then kiss me twice, then kiss me once again. It's been a long, long time. Kiss me once, then kiss me twice, then kiss me once again. It's been a long time.
Haven't felt like this, my dear, since I can't remember when. It's been a long, long time. You'll never know how many dreams I dreamed about you, or just how empty they all seemed without you. So kiss me once, then kiss me twice, then kiss me once again. It's been a long, long